Shalom, shalom, shalom. Back again. Finish what I started. Try to. Do my due diligence. Try my best to finish what I have begun. Okay. So I believe I ended it in the sealed portion, chapter 31, elaborating on the Roman Empire in the words of John, who we should all know by now at this time is Elijah. Brothers like Brother Man is putting in that work to let people know about the reincarnation. I shared one of his videos on the book. Please, y'all tap into that brother as well as edifying the body. Tap into yourself first and foremost. Tap into yourself. Go back home, meaning go to your parents. Go to your parents. Knowledge and wisdom, father and mother. Before you indulge in anybody else. So yeah, I want to continue to allow the Holy Spirit father and mother guide this teaching in what I'm trying to bring forth for the edification of the body, and see what we as a whole can gather and grow and expound upon everything that is not known. Okay. All know about it's all about getting closer to the Father and your mother. So I'm gonna read the header and then I'm gonna jump down to verse 4. Okay. Now the header, chapter 31 in the sealed portion, reads, "The rise of the great Roman Empire and the explanation of the great beast by John in Revelation. The Roman Empire is one beast, and the great European Empire in the United States are some of the other beasts described by John. The book of Revelation is expounded upon extensively." Okay, so now we go on to verse 4. "For Satan shall cause to be established a powerful nation among the Gentiles, that shall strike fear in all the other nations of the world. And with this great nation, Satan shall begin to rule and reign over his own dominion without restrictions that were placed on him by the Father in the beginning." Okay, we're gonna really key in on that word, the beginning, in the beginning. Okay, and you're gonna know that this is expounded upon a lot. Okay, it's throughout the Bible. The beginning. The beginning. Because like Christ told many, if you want to know how it ends, you got to go back to the beginning. Now, I was going to do a lesson on 1 and 8. The numbers 1 and 8. What's the difference between 1 and 8? And I'm still going to, most high willing, I'm going to jump into that as well. But let's stay on course. The beginning, key in on that. Okay. And this shall be the final opportunity of Satan to show, the final opportunity of Satan to show, okay, unto the children of God, that his plan can bring happiness and joy to those who follow him and give him the glory that he seeketh. And this great nation shall be known as the United States, for they shall be united in their desire to worship Satan in his image, and this because of their works. So it just broke down, right, on a spiritual level of why they, the ones that, consulted and formed this plan, understand they didn't strike physically. They had to strike spiritually, because they know that's where the true power is at. No power is in the physical. Anybody can get beat physically, you see? So they knew messing around with these lands, knowing that this is the old world, okay? Knowing what these lands possess, who are in these lands, where did it all start from? Knowing that, he had to strike strategically. They have to, as a whole, all his minions, okay? All his minions, to deceive everybody in the world. Everybody in the world. The deception was on a grand level that you can't even comprehend. When most try to tap into it, they get frustrated and angry, mad, confused, all type of stuff, because it was such on a grand level, the mass deception. Okay, so now when we tell people, and I try to explain the best way I can, but people are listening with their flesh, they're not listening with their spirit. How is that? What do I mean? They're not taking the matters up for themselves to see if what I'm saying is truth or false. They're not doing their due diligence to let the father and mother be their guide and bear witness to truth. Okay? They're not allowing knowledge and wisdom to lead. They swear they are, but you can't do that when you're still under the doctrine of flesh, when you're still under the doctrine of men, when you have made flesh your arm. Okay? And unknowingly, they shall be led subtly to believe that Satan is their God. Go check out that show. Me and my wife just got done watching it. Lucifer. Check out the last season. They telling you basically everything. watch TV shows as news, because in the TV shows is the truth. Okay? In the TV shows is truth. It is more truth in TV shows than in the news. Even the very eternal Father. You know what I'm saying? So this nigga is way over his head. And they shall support and worship his image, and cause all other nations who do not support and worship the image of Satan to be condemned or destroyed. And now, all these things, this is why you see America move the way that they move. They go and bother other people in their lands and see what they can govern and stuff like that. Where do you think they get that from? See, it's naive for people to believe that these ain't the lands. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not looking at things and matching spirituality with reality. And when you do that, it's easy to see. Just watch how your government moves. They try to govern the world, America. You know how Joseph governed the world? That's why they know they're finding in Arizona pyramids, Egyptian artifacts, all that ancient artifacts in the Grand Canyon. They didn't know where the lands is at, man. So they know what was former is going to be the latter. What was is what is. Okay? What was is what is. There's nothing different from the former and the latter. He tells you this in the Bible. So let's go. And now all these things shall come to pass according to the words of the brother of Jared, and I shall hereafter give unto you an abridgment of how these things, Salakia, shall come to pass. Nevertheless, it had been commanded of me by the Spirit to give unto you the words of John, which are written in the book of the Jews. In the book of the Jews. For the words of John are the final words of this book. And shall give unto the children of man all the knowledge that they shall need, in order that they might understand that which Satan had done to deceive them and lead them away from the words of Christ and into captivity, being bound by the chains of Satan. And now, in the words of the brother of Jared, shall show unto the elect the way in which Satan rewarded those who follow his plan and keep his covenants. Oh, Jesus didn't blame. I'm doing the work of God. I'm doing the work of God. He didn't set me up so nice. Did he? Did he bless you in this world? And he rewarded them with peace and carnal security, as it had been explained unto you previously in this record. And all of the prophets of God have seen this time when Satan shall be released by the Father and given power over his own dominions. Children, the house of Joseph, the house of the Lord. Okay? Here in the Americas is the house of Joseph, is the house of the Lord's. His dominions, without restrictions that were placed upon him from the beginning. See, it's going to continue to hit you with that same thing. Okay, that's all I want to key into. The beginning is the beginning. Why does it keep reiterating that in the beginning? Okay, I'm doing live, buddy. No, you can't get up here. Matthias, look. Yeah, I can do that. I'm doing it live. See, Daddy trying to do work, buddy.
I gotta walk to the vet clinic.
You see?
Grab our pizza.
Look. See? You gotta let me read. For Lucifer had complained unto the Father that the presentation of his plan in its incorporation into mortality cannot take a full effect, nor can it be given the proper chance so that the children of God can make a fair choice of which plan is the best and most righteous for all. If he is not allowed to give unto them some indication, the example of the eternal laws that have been established for their happiness. Therefore, the Father had chosen a time when peace, okay? Therefore, the Father had chosen a time when peace shall be taken from the earth for the last time. And Lucifer shall have power over his own dominions. At this time, the plan of Lucifer shall be shown in its full effect unto the children of God, whether they are alive in mortality or owing to the manner of the spirit and dimensions of the spirit world. Yea, all the children of God shall witness these last days and see the plan of Lucifer in his glory. Say that again. All the children of God shall witness these last days and see the plan of Lucifer in its glory. You see? To the times. What are we seeing worldwide? What's his plan? What's going on? What he got his agents, his demons, advocating. What he got them advocating, sponsoring, supporting. It's knowing time we in, man. And this is the glory of his plan. And after it had failed miserably, you see, that's what it's going to do. It's going to fail miserably. Then shall every knee bow, and every tongue confess the plan of salvation which was given unto us by the Father. No. It's said by Jesus. Is the only plan that is possible whereby we might have eternal peace and happiness, even that eternal joy that the Father had promised unto us, promised unto all of us in the beginning. In the beginning. What does Isaiah 9:15 say? The ancient and the honorable, he is the head. And the honorable, the ancient and the honorable. Chapter 29:55, preceptor. Now I'm going to start at 54. And we did hear the words of the Father from his own mouth before we were placed in the confines of this earth. And we cannot hear the words of the Father presently, except it be from his own mouth in his kingdom, wherein he resided. But he had given unto us the words of Jehovah. I already told y'all where that stemmed from. Y'all been following me. That's in the Legend of the Jews. Story of Joseph. Well, Gabriel changed his name to Jehoshaphat. After learning the 70 languages to govern the world, which are his own words. And at the time, Moshe, Jehovah, and at the time of Moshe, and at the time of Moshe, and at the time of Moshe, Jehovah was in the spirit world, where he could give unto us the words of the Father according to the ministration of his spirit world, of this spirit world, right? And it is the desire of the Father that we do not receive his words except it be from his own mouth or the mouth of his Son. Watch this. Because they are the exact same words. What's going on here? Most don't know about the Godhead. So when you find out that Michael is really the Messiah, then it's able to unlock then you can unlock and you go to seal portion, it's chapter 63. Whoa. Look at 63. So when you see in chapter 63, verse 70, okay, and it says, and for this same reason, both Jehovah, the Christ, and Michael, the Holy Ghost, were given authority in the beginning and became part of a holy trinity, the Father being the first, and these other two being authority according to the eternal laws of heaven under the Father. So that's why when I say to you, yes, Joseph is the one that's playing in the role of the eternal Father. He is the Son of God that was sent. Okay? In the book, it's recorded in the book of Genesis. He is the Son of God that has been sent to preserve life. These are his words. And give a great deliverance. He is the first one to get us out the Exodus. He promised the brethren that when they came into Egypt, he already promised them, and he promised their children. He said, and for your children, your children's children, I will be there for them. It was Joseph who made that promise. So who would he be? That's why Moshe took his bones. That was the only way that the children of Israel was going to get out of Egypt. So what do we need to do again? You Hebrews? What do we need to come on common ground? What do we need to stop doing? Stop rejecting the foundation stone. It's simple. Once we get into the know of that, we are free. That's the truth. The truth shall set you free. Literally. Okay? Michael, I come in my Father's name. So in the spirit world, he plays the son to Jehovah. You see? That's why in Exodus, you hear Jehovah saying, and I sent my angel before you to lead you in the way. Into the promised land that I promised your fathers that I would give unto their children. You see? Connect the dots. And he was taking instructions from the spirit world where he was back with his father. Okay? He had the eternal Father right up there with him, coaching him on what play to call next. You understand? This is the level we want to get to. That's the Holy Trinity. And so got the Messiah. Now y'all got to go to the Father. Now it's time to go to the Father of the Messiah, the true King of Kings and Lord of Lords. He came down here and did it in the flesh. Trust me, I got evidence upon evidence stacked. I'm just waiting to prove this matter. But what I need, what power needs for all his children to do is search out the matter. I can't do y'all homework for y'all. Nobody did the homework for me. Nobody did my homework. Nobody did my homework. I didn't cheat on no test, none of that. You had to search out the matter. And we're going back into this chapter 29. It's a lot in there that needs to be brought out. But let's go back to 31. Let's go back to chapter 31. And let's continue at verse 13. And since all the prophets of God have seen these latter days, and these prophets know the will of God concerning them, yea, because they have known these things, many of them have touched upon them in their writings, which are contained in the holy scriptures that are upon you, the earth, that are upon the earth in the latter days. Right. Because we've been in the latter days for eons now. This is his patience. This is his long suffering. Nevertheless, the Maker had not permitted any of them to reveal unto the children of man the entire truth regarding these things. But some of them have revealed many things by way of symbolism and allegory, which was commanded of them by the Lord, so that the children of man would be inspired to seek the meaning of these things for him, or in other words, from his Holy Spirit. And he who shall be the bearer of Christ, even he who shall bring forth the sealed portion of this record unto the world, shall have the power to discern all the symbolism, okay, or symbols, and the allegories that have been given unto the children of man by the prophets of old, and those things that are not revealed in the portion of this record. Really? I think he gotta go to bed now.
He doesn't start screaming.
Good night, Potbelly.
Come here. Come here. Yeah.
Love you. Love you, buddy.
Bye-bye, Daddy. Say night-night. Say night-night. Say night-night, Daddy. Okay.
So it says, and those things that are not revealed in the portion of this record that is sealed shall be revealed through him. Okay, let me get that back. And he who shall be the bearer of Christ, even he who shall bring forth the sealed portion of this record unto the world, shall have the power to discern all symbols and the allegories that have been given unto the children of man by the prophets of old, and those things that are not revealed in the portion of this record that is sealed shall be revealed through him, and by the power of the Spirit he shall discern all things which have been written. Nevertheless, I, Moroni, have been commanded to explain unto you the words of John that pertain to the great Roman Empire, and also the great nation that shall rise up because of the Romans, even the great European Empire, and also the last great nation that shall rise up above all other nations upon the earth in the latter days. And this last nation shall be the seat of Satan, where he shall sit and rule and reign throughout the world, even in the final stages of his power and dominion. So, put things in movies, right? They put things in movies. Remember that movie, Bruce Almighty? Right? This is what just came to me by the Spirit. The movie Bruce Almighty. What did Morgan Freeman do playing God? What did he give Jim Carrey a chance to do and a chance to be? Giving him his power. It wasn't by his own power. He had the power of the Most High. So it wasn't his power. It was the power of God still, right? And what did he give him a chance to do? Be him. Can you work righteousness through my power? Can you do that? Can you do a better job than me? You see? Right there in your face. Telling you what's going on in real time. Okay? So he's profaning judgment sitting in America. Because America, okay, is the land that sends out all judgments across the world. If any other country is doing something unlawful, deemed so by America, you know, America is going to step in and have something to say about it. So that's Satan up to his old bags of tricks, profaning judgment. Okay? That's why it says, and this last nation shall be the seat of Satan. That's why you think like, no. What kind of judge do you think the Father is? Now, did this land got to get cleansed because of the act? Because of what Satan has established? Yes, of course. Of course. But is it happening on the grand scale that we've been taught by these particular organizations for us to believe in the mannerisms that is supposed to happen? This is why he tells you to stay away from man's teachings. If you're spiritual, then you know what I'm saying is not cap. But if you're not spiritual, you're going to look at this and laugh. Because all you have come accustomed to is man's teachings. Oh, my elder taught me this. My pastor taught me that. What did the Most High teach you? You know he does that, right? Yeah. You know the father and mother are the only two that's supposed to be teaching you anything? Do you know that? Especially if you're the child and you belong to them. They're your guide through all of this chaos. So 18 says, and they who shall bring these things forth unto the world shall be among those of this last nation. And the first of these last two prophets of God in the latter days shall be at the beginning of this nation, and the last shall be near the end thereof, or at the time when the words of the Maker shall be fulfilled, pertaining unto the time when the work of the Father shall commence in gathering the saints from among the wicked before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. I don't know. So let's go. It says, in the first of these last two prophets of God in the latter days shall be at the beginning of this nation, and the last shall be near the end thereof, or at the time when the words of the Lord shall be fulfilled, pertaining unto the time when the work of the Father shall commence in gathering the saints from among the wicked before the great and dreadful day of the Lord. For unto the saints of God, the day of the Lord shall not be dreadful. It shall be that day for which they have waited in patience. But unto the wicked, which are all those who worship the beast, who is Lucifer, the day of the Lord shall indeed be great and terrible. And then shall the words of John be understood and fulfilled, which he wrote, saying, and after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lighted with his glory. So I hope you're catching this, right? So who's the Lord? And who's this great angel with so much power? What does it sound like? The Messiah, right? The Messiah coming down with so much power and all his light and his Father's glory. Okay. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every clean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth, okay, are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Her, speaking of this land, speaking of Israel. All right, we went over this a couple of days ago. I think it was probably last week. Not broke down. Well, who is Babylon in the Bible? You see? All the fornication, meaning all the trades, everybody deal with America. All the nations deal with America. So at our lower state, what are we? Sinners. All right? Who's the ones in chains? You got to put the pieces together and see it for what it is. When you come to this truth and realize what you are right now, that's the whole point of you being meek and humble. Know that you have no right. Okay? You're not privileged over any other nation, because all the other nations, they learn from you. Yeah, they learn from you on how to F up. It's that simple. On what not to do is how they learn from you. He put us on here to be teachers of his way. So what got us in trouble? Being a teacher, serving another master, and teaching the world Satan's way. You see? In doing things Satan's way, you become a whore. You get pimped out. And I heard another voice, meaning this what I read already transpired. When the aboriginals of these lands, he came and judged his house first. The Gentiles is next. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God have remembered her iniquities. And then shall the saints of God lift up their voice unto the Lord, and the voice of all the holy prophets shall cry unto the Lord, saying, Reward her even as she rewarded us, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled, fill even to her double as she had done unto us." Why? The prophets have said. Right, because when we try to tell our brothers and sisters nothing new about the Lord, when we tried to tell our brothers and sisters about the Lord, about the stone, what did they do? How did they get judged again? What's happening all over again, y'all? When me and my brethren tell any other Hebrew Israelite who the true King of Kings is, Lord of Lords, who's the foundation stone, how we must come back to his ways and his teachings. See, they already got half the job is already done because they follow the way of the Messiah. Well, the Messiah, if he's really following the way of the Messiah, though, you'll know that he was talking of the ways of the Father. These words are not mine, but of the Father. because it's already been established in the beginning with him and the brethren. That was the world. The world consists of the house of Israel, the house of Jacob, right? That's the world. How much she have glorified herself and lived deliciously of her labors, and our sorrow, so much torment and sorrow give double unto her. For she has said in her heart, I sit a queen, and I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord power who judgeth her, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, and they standing afar off, for the fear of her torment shall lament her, saying, Alas, alas, the great city of Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. That's why he's saying, to a land that's not yours. You will be in your land, but it won't be yours. No, because strangers will possess it. And when strangers possess it, they change the name. It's no longer called Yerushalayim. No, it is now known as Babylon. And therefore, the lands must be cleansed by blood. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around that. Because they have built their house on bloodshed. He who lives by the sword must die by the sword. And that's all America. That's all they've been doing since day one. Since they proclaimed of founding the land, this land, Christopher Columbus, or we found America, right? And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore, even the merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones, and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and iron, and marble, and cinnamon, and orders, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and all the souls of men that have been held captive by her. Now, at this point, it ain't talking about America. It's talking about the world. It's talking about Shiloh. Okay? That's what it's talking about. This realm, this firmament that your soul can graduate out of. It says, and all the souls of men that have been held captive by her. Okay? The gates of hell, death, Death. He refers to death in the Bible as a her. Okay? So that's the world. That's this realm. And the fruits that thy soul have lusted after are departed from before thee, and all the things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all. And the merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, and they shall weep and wail, saying, Alas, alas, the great city, that great city that was clouded in fine clothes, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Yea, even the great city from which we receive our riches and our power and our glory. For in see, just told you right there. Look what 27 say. Yea, even that great city from which we receive our riches and our power and our glory. For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company of in ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city, and what is the cause of its destruction? Sin, her sins. Who sinned? We sinned. The house of Yerushalayim, Yasharella, have sinned. Are you sin? Putting other gods before yours. It's personal with us. Other nations can do that. That's fine by him. But you, Yerushalayim, cannot. You cannot. If you're his child, you cannot. You're his people, you cannot. You can't do that. That's a red flag. That's a foul on the play. That's disrespectful. That's dishonorable. Okay? Can't do that. So on the opposite side, and shout out to Camaro, man, for the work that he be putting in, bringing out the Sephardic Jews. So when you read in every shipmaster and all their companies and ships and sailors, and it's talking about the black Jews that was making trades over here with the children of God over here. Israel over here. Because what our Father told us not to do, we did with our neighbor, aka the brethren. Therefore, we transgress our Father's ways. So I said, and what is the cause of its destruction? And they shall cast dust upon their heads and cry, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein we were made rich, even all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastlines. Okay? For in 1 hour is she made desolate. Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets. For power had avenged you on her. And a mighty angel took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it into the sea, saying, thus with violence shall the great city, thus with violence shall the great city Babylon be thrown down and shall be found no more at all. Okay. In the voice of the harpers and musicians and of pipers and trumpets shall be heard no more at all in thee. And no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be, and no craftsman of whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. The maker, your father, he will no longer be in you. Craftsman, the one who created you. Okay? Whatsoever craft he be shall be found any more in thee. And the sound of a millstone shall be heard no more at all in thee. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee. And the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride, the bridegroom and of the bride, shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants were the great men and leaders of the nations of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. Who do we allow? How do we allow this? Go back to where Satan said, let me show my righteousness. This is how it happened. Let me show your children, your dominion, that my way will be righteousness for them. You see how we got bamboozled by the one that hate us? We got tricked. Okay? That's why light was no more found in us. The Father, the millstone, the foundation stone, the candle, he's the light. I am the way, the truth, and the light. No longer found in you. And in her was found the blood of the holy prophets and of the saints and of all that were slain upon the earth, even all those who trusted in God and kept the commandments that were given unto them. And now I, Moroni, would that ye should understand that the nations of the earth have caused that many of the prophets of God, have been slain, because they have tried to teach unto them the plan. They try to teach unto them the plan of the Father. What did I just say? Which plan is diametrically opposed to the plan of Lucifer. Complete opposite. And when a nation would rather live by the plan of Lucifer or in other words, do his will, then these same nations shall seek to destroy the prophets of God because of the words of God that these prophets preach unto them, which words condemn them. Okay. Which words condemn them. Why condemn them? Why does it condemn them? Because when we tell y'all, when we tell our brothers and sisters, and I say we because my brethren's been doing it. When we tell y'all, the ones that's under big organizations, that's uncalled for. Now you can talk and you can gather, gather yourselves amongst one another, but don't be under a big organization where one is your head. No, that's not how it goes. That's not how the Maker wants it. No, it should be no one leader. No. All have the access to talk to mother and father. All. You don't need to go through no elder. You don't need to go through no pastor. All have the capability of speaking to the Father, speaking to the Spirit, speaking unto knowledge and wisdom. That's the way of God. Okay? And it shall come to pass that the words of the prophets contained in the book of the Jews or the Bible, and the words of the prophets of this record, which is the record of my father Mormon, yea, in the last days, these two records shall be represented symbolically as these last two prophets of whom John spoke when he wrote, saying, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod. And the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of God, and the altar, okay, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. For they shall tread underfoot the holy city for 42 months. But I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,260 days, clothed in sackcloth. This is Daniel. Okay? This is Daniel. Chapter 9 and chapter 12. Two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. Yea, if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. Y'all want to know what it said in the Bible? The 2 witnesses are the 2 houses. Okay? Obadiah. That stands before God. These 2 witnesses. And he's talking about it's 2 witnesses to these 2 nations. It's in Obadiah, I believe it's chapter 18. Chapter 18, verse 18. I saw that. So I got it right. Obadiah. Okay, start at 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Okay, in the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame, in the house of Esau for a stubble, and they shall kindle in them. Okay, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Most High has spoken it. You see? Shalom. Shalom. Shalom, my brother Philip. See what I'm saying? So there go the two witnesses right there. Just gave it away. And if any man will hurt them, right? The two candlesticks standing before the God of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceeded out of their mouth and devoured their enemies. Yea, if any man will hurt them, he must in this manner be killed. What did he say? In the house of Jacob shall be a fire, in the house of Joseph a flame. You see? So the two houses, right now we got to come back to truth. So this may be performed. And it's going to happen. It's the Most High's will. I mean, it ain't no getting around. There ain't nobody going to be able to, it's the Most High's will. Right. Because people ask me where, exactly. Yeah. December 21, 2022. That's what it's really saying. Mayan calendar ends because it says it really ended on December 21st, 2012. They added 10 years. 2022. There go. That's like the fifth witness right there, bro. That's the fifth witness right there, bro. Yep. That's it. And so let's go. Let's go. 37. And these shall have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy. And they shall also have power over the waters to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all their plagues, as often as they will, according to the heed that is given unto them. You see, this is how the Most High is going to work the salvation through his people and through his children. Okay? It says, I will work salvation through my own arm, meaning my children. This is how I'm going to free them. It's in, not mistaken. It's Jeremiah 13. think it's 3. Let's see what I want to bring up. I think it's 3. Could be 4. I know it's in Jeremiah though. Can't find it right now. It's in Jeremiah though. I can't find it. I thought it was. Then he says, "Thou should be my battle axe." I know that's in Jeremiah. I know it is. I'll find it though. Numbers 31 and 23 concerning what family? Everything that may abide the fire, everything that may abide the fire, ye shall make it go through the fire, and it shall be clean. Nevertheless, it shall be purified with the water of separation. And all that abideth not the fire ye shall make go through the water. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes, sir. Oh, you found it. It was 51. I thought, why did I think it was in the earlier chapters? Let me see this. 51 and what? And 20? Yes, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war. For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. You see? Those are 2 witnesses. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. See? The Lord of hosts is his name. You see? The portion of Jacob is not like them. So 10 and 16, let's see the precept. 10 and 16 say, The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Okay, the maker of hosts is his name. So let's go Deuteronomy 32 and 9. Because that's what I'm trying to bring out, family. Those are the two houses. Those are the two witnesses. And Israel is just another name. That's what he called Israel. Joseph, that's what Joseph called the house, right? Israel. Hold on. 32 and 9. For the Lord portion is his people. See? For the Lord's portion is his people. Jacob is the lot of his inheritance. See? That's why you see Jacob and Israel, Jacob and Israel, Jacob and Israel. So Exodus, it says, let me go up. Remember the days of old. This is 7. Remember the days of old. Consider the years of many generations. Ask thy father, and he shall show thee thy elders, and they will tell thee. When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. You see? Because Adam is who? Adam is Jacob. Adam is Michael. That's why you read in the book of Daniel, the house of the prince, when the Messiah and his people came over here. So that's what's been going on. The war has been in the house. That's why he says, the Messiah says, right, in the New Testament, what does he tell you? Well, he tells you that your own foes are from your household, your neighbor, the brethren. You see it in reality. I don't know why we act like we don't see reality. He's showing us in real time. What do you see all the time? Us. This color. Somebody looking just like me, killing me, or me killing them. So we got Exodus 15 and 16. Let's go there. Exodus 15 and 16. This is what we got to come into the right realization with. That has been us at each other's neck. Fear and dread shall fall upon them by the greatness, okay, of thy arm. They shall be as still as a stone till thy people pass over. O Maker, tell the people pass over, which thou hast purchased. Okay. Thou shalt bring them in and plant them in the mountain of thine inheritance, in the place, O Lord, which thou hast made for thee to dwell. To dwell in the sanctuary, O Lord, which thy hands have established. Okay, the Lord shall reign forever and ever. We got to know who's the Lord. It's important. It's important. It's important. You got to know Who is the Lord? Who is these scriptures talking about? Why did they create these titles? Why did they create these names? It's important to know because it cancels out falsehood. Any false doctrine, it cancels it out. Okay? So what was the other? Let me see. Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47 and 4. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Okay? The Holy One of Israel. This is why people have a hard time accepting when we tell them Joseph is the Holy One of Israel, the Redeemer. He performed these acts in the flesh. And then he did it again in the spiritual from the heavens. And his son, the angel, led the way, the Messiah. So when you hear in the third book of Enoch, the one that I keep reiterating, you see Lamentations 3 and 24. Let's see Lamentations 3 and 24 say. Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Roro. Three and 24. The Lord is my portion, said my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. See? It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke of his youth. He sitteth alone and keepeth silence because he had borne it upon him. He putteth his mouth in the dust. If so be, there may be hope. He giveth his cheek to him that smiteth him. He is filled full with reproach. For the Maker will not cast off forever. For the Lord will not cast off forever. But though he cause grief, yet will he have compassion according to the multitude of his mercies. Okay. Gotta know who the Lord is. These accolades speak of him all throughout Scripture. All throughout Scripture. So, talking about the two witnesses. And what was done before is going to happen again. He worked the plagues through us, through the children of Israel, to get up out of Egypt. This is how we terrified the Egyptians. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also the Lord was crucified, because the holy city gave no heed unto the words of his prophets. Okay, we know what land they talking about by now. And they of the temple of God, which are the people in the kindreds and tongues and nations of the earth, shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. Okay. So what I'm going to bring out in the legend of the Jews, this is in Joseph in Egypt, where it's recorded, where he was in the pit in darkness for 3 days. And he ascended out of that pit, out of darkness, after those 3 days. So just like how our Father resurrected, so shall we. Okay? And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these 2 prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And now I, Moroni, give unto those of you who are the elect the explanation of these things, for they are glorious things. You see? Which can only be made known unto you by the Spirit of God. Facts. I'm going to read that again. Which may only be known to you by the Spirit of God. No man in the flesh can do such things. That's why I say, even me speaking, challenge it. But the way that you challenge it, seek out the matter. Seek out the matter. Am I talking crazy talk? Yeah, I am. Because the truth is stranger than fiction. Okay? The truth is scary. Matthew 10:21. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father, the child, and the father, the child, and the father, the child. The children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. There it is. 1 Corinthians 14:33. For God is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Forget not that the Most High glorious in plainness of word. The Most High also choose not those that were well versed in words. He chose instead those who spoke plainly and simply to convey his message. Meaning, don't regurgitate scriptures you really don't have no understanding of. Stop doing that. Because you're regurgitating of what your pastor have taught you, meaning man. Don't regurgitate any scripture I spit out. No, let the father and mother, knowledge and wisdom, be your teacher. That's it. So it says, but I know that many of you have been led by the precepts of men for so long, see, that it is difficult for ye to discern that which is of the spirit, and that which is of man. For Satan whispered a portion of truth unto many, that he might convince them of his power. And he introduced his own precepts mingled with truth to deceive you. And for this reason, this record had been prepared and sealed up to come forth unto you to help you discern the truth in all things. For behold, John had revealed unto you the time of the Lord, in that which he wrote, saying, for they shall tread underfoot the holy city for 42 months. Okay. And I will give power unto my two witnesses. And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,233 score days, clothed in sackcloth, and they of the temple of God, which are the people and kindreds and tongues and nations of the earth, shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. See? And now they shall see. How are they seeing? And now I, with that ye should know that 42 months are 1,203 score days, and 1,203 score days are 3 years and a half. See? This has all been the experience of Joseph. I know how it sounds like, but I tell you to get the books. I tell you, I bring you to the resource. And best believe the books that I'm reading out, I go right back to the Bible. I go back to the foundation and see what precepts with it and what doesn't. There's no getting around it. He was in the well. He was in darkness for 3 days. He was dead, y'all. In the flesh, but his spirit was alive. He came back with the keys of death, with the keys of life, right? Came back with that. No, he took the keys of death. I was right the first time. Okay? And came back to rule. Came back to this realm to rule. The Most High also choose not those that were, I read that. Okay, an example of Moshe himself saying, as I wrote in Exodus 4:10, many of the books are freely available. Yup. As I just, check out those 2 books, man. I'm coming. I got more on the way, Most High willing, pretty soon here, hopefully. Like just getting more of the Legend of the Jews, 3 more books out of the Legend of the Jews package. And that's when the lid gonna pop off. I already did what I did as far as bringing you, the truth about Joseph in these books. I already read it. Go back and look at my videos. The reason why I'm saying this, go back and look at my lessons. Go back. Go back. I'm foundated on my teachings. I'm foundated on the stone. Okay, on the stone. He is who he is. You're not arguing against me, you're arguing with the word. He is who he is. Let's go. Let's go. 45 says, "In these days represent years, therefore 1,203 score years shall pass until all these things shall be fulfilled. Now, here is the understanding of the wise. A time in 2 times, and a half of a time in 3 and a half. He who hath the Spirit and receiveth these things according to the spirit of prophecy shall understand and not be afraid of that which is to come." Why is saying not be afraid of that which is to come? Because the death part is you gotta die. This gotta go. But your death is life. That's what he's saying. You're not gonna be afraid because death is life. That's been a whole manipulation this entire time. Okay. In the Bible, in the record of my father shall be upon the earth for 1,203 score years before the words of the Lord shall be fulfilled in all things that he had given unto the children of man through the mouth of his holy prophets. And these 2 great prophets, of which John had written, shall be a witness unto the world of its wickedness, in the same manner and likeness as the words of a holy prophet shall witness in the flesh of the wickedness of a nation. And the people and kindreds of the earth shall have them available to them, but shall not give heed unto them. See? You see? You hear what it's saying? You hear what it's speaking? That's why I say that's why it makes sense when I read to you. This is the crazy part. So when I read, no matter what you tell them, and Joseph said unto his brethren, "Come near unto me, I pray you." They came near, and he said, "I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me here, for God did send me before you to preserve life." Nothing fleshly should be going into your mind. You should not be thinking carnally when this precept is being presented to you. Nothing carnal shall come into mind. You got to understand that this is spiritual. He's speaking spiritual. To preserve life, I came here so you won't suffer. I already did the suffering for you. That's why he was telling them, don't trip about what you did. Really, you don't trip about you killing me, because that was by design, by the Most High. Okay? He had to do that. Y'all had to play that part to preserve life. Okay? What happened again? Look at it real time. Well, once you find out who's God's children and where God's land is at, America knows, okay, the government knows that his children are here in this land. What happened to his children in this land? Well, what did the brethren's children generation do? They committed the same sins that their fathers did. That's why you read in Amos chapter 6. Okay? That's why you read in Amos chapter 6, verse 5 through 6, that they took, still to this day, they have not taken account of the afflictions of Joseph, because he's here still suffering with his children and his people. He's still suffering. Still, he is his children. We are him. So as long as we stay in stupidity, we're making our Father suffer with us. You see? Even was, sure enough, it really was, family. Ecclesiastes 9:5, for the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Right. So when he sends you, woo-wee, fill up. Fill up. You're killing them now. Now you done served up the alley hoop. So you're going into death when he sends you here. When you get sent here, you're going into death. You're not going into life. Life is when you're out of here. Life is when you're out of here. This is death. This is why every day you're waking up another second, another hour, another minute closer to death. Okay? When you're out of here, there's no, you're getting closer to death by a minute out, because time is not a thing. When you're out of this realm, when you're in the heavens. Okay? They are dead. They shall not live. They are deceased. They shall not rise. Therefore, hast thou visited and destroyed them. See? See? And made all their memory to perish. Philip, just this, that, what else needs to be said? See? So how did he preserve? Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me here. But God did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years in which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me here, but God, but the Father. And he had made me a father to Pharaoh, and Lord of his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. You see, has haste ye. Nothing right there should be carnal. Nothing, you should not be thinking carnal right here. If you are, you got to address yourself immediately. You must address yourself immediately, because that's a problem, a huge problem. Haste ye and go up to my father and say unto him, thus says thy son Joseph, power had made me Lord of all Egypt. come down unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen. Here he's speaking. And he says, look, he gave it away right here. Let me go back up to 9. He gave away his identification right here. Haste ye and go up to my father and say unto him, thus says thy son Joseph, power, thus saith thy son, thus saith thy son, son of man. Who's the son of man? You see? Thus says thy son. Thus says the Lord. You see? Father has made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down and unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks, and thy herds, and all that thou hast. See? So, when you read yep, all is of the Father. So when you read, let me go back there. In 29, I just read it. Dang on it. In 29, where he said, and at the time of Moshe, Jehovah was in the spirit world, where he could give unto us the words of the Father according to the ministrations of the spirit world. You see? Jehovah, Jehoshaphat, in the spirit world, playing the role of the Father. Doubtless thou art our father, though Abraham be ignorant of us and Israel want nothing to do of us. That's Isaiah 63. You see? That's Isaiah 63. Doubtless thou art our father. Doubtless thou art our father. Who do you think they were speaking of? Being close unto your children. That's generational. He just told you right there. That's generational. That was prophecy, y'all. Prophecy that he gave unto them. And I will give you a great deliverance. He didn't give them a great deliverance right there out of Egypt. They was dwelling in Egypt. So they couldn't have been right there. You know what I'm saying? But he sent me to give y'all great deliverance. Your generation. Your children. A great deliverance. So this is whom we must come back to, y'all. Okay? This is whom we must come back to. And it's going to be a continuation on this topic, on this matter. Most High willing. Thank you, Brother Philip, for the alley hoops, for the precepts. We love those. We love those over here, man. Love me some precepts. Eat on those all day. Till next time, my beloved brethren, my beloved sister, giving all praises, glory, and honor to the Father, to the Son, to the Mother, okay, and all that they do. for salvation. Shalom. Shalom. I'm going to get it, bro. I'm going to get it, family. Love. Love, y'all. Love.